What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Serie A audio experience with IFTV. We got a lot to talk about today, and we're blessed with a new guest. My dad is sick, so we got Ludovico over here. Ludovico, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. I'm healthy, by the way.
Oh, there we go. Everybody's been asking us for such a long time to get a Napoli fan on.
And we got the best one in the USA.
There we go. So we got Ludovico.
Let's not go crazy.
And we brought you on a perfect day because Napoli, they win late today. So look, you brought some luck.
Yes, it was. We suffered a little bit. It was it was a nice game. Cagliari played really well, a lot of running, but at the end, it was one of those games that was going to be decided by a set play, only by a set play. And without a set play, you could play 24 hours, you're never going to score. And Milik, thank God, he threw everybody off the ball. He goes, "Let me take this," and it was a perfect free kick, and that's what we needed.
You think somebody else was going to take it, Ludo?
Mertens wanted to take it. Insigne wants to take it from those. Usually they take from Gulam could take it from those positions, but Milik said, "No, this is mine," and it was a perfect execution.
You think he wanted to redeem himself from the big mistake that he made on the Champions League?
I don't think it was a mistake, Antonio. I don't think it was a mistake. It was one of those desperation moves that the goalkeeper comes out, like when you throw yourself off the roof because there's a fire in your house, and he goes, "Let me come out," and whatever happens, happens.
Analogy.
And the
boom.
No, it was so close. the shot was so close that he couldn't really.
Why couldn't that guy make a mistake again on the Champions League, Alisson?
He made a mistake today,
I know,
but
he made a mistake today. He would have made a stupid mistake today. I wish he would have made. I wish Napoli would have lost the game today. I would have won the Champions League game. As far as I'm concerned.
All right. Before we go into Champions League, before we go into Serie A, I want you to introduce yourself, Ludo. As a Napoli fan, how did you grow up a Napoli fan? Tell everybody.
Well, I was born in a town near Naples, 15 kilometers from Naples. My hometown is Nola. And I arrived in this country when I was 12. I went to see the first Napoli game. I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Back then. Wow. And I remember those days when Napoli came second place. I believe it was 1972. When the Napoli formation was Carmignani, Bruscolotti, La Palma, Burnic, Vavassori, Orlandini, Massa, Giuliano, Clerici, Esposito, Braglia.
Wow. Now that's a Napoli fan right there.
Yeah.
And then we always, as a, when you're Neapolitan, most Neapolitans, not everyone, and Napoli is the team is it's part of the fabric of the city. It's religion, and it's like going to church every Sunday. So regardless of who's the president, or if the team is in Serie A, in Serie B, that is your team, that is your city, those are your colors. So it's the shirt that matters, not necessarily the players that wear the shirt.
Who's the best player you ever seen wear the Napoli shirt?
God in person.
Listen, we're not blessed enough. I'm not blessed enough. Michael's not blessed enough. Peter, no. We didn't get to see Maradona live. How was he?
Great. I love this warm-up. I mean, probably you guys saw the warm-up against the famous warm-up that goes around YouTube. But I used to see, I saw the Napoli games. I went to Stuttgart to watch the UEFA final back in 1988 and May 17th when we tied 3-3. And then I went to see Napoli, Real Madrid, the Champions League. Back then, there was no preliminary rounds. It was only the first team that won in the Serie A. So Napoli, the first round, boom, we get Real Madrid. We lose 2-0 over there, but we tie 1-1 at home. So I saw a lot of games with Maradona, and he used to warm up just back then there was not the warm up that you see today, that you have 10 guys coming out, coaches, and they
all
put the poles right. No, back then you came out and you did your own stretching according to your body. But of course, back then they played 35 games a year. Now you play 95 games a year, so there has to be some kind of structure. But to see Maradona play live, it's
like you've seen the heaven before you get there. Okay?
Correct. It's like seeing the Pope in the Vatican pass by you, and you kiss his hand.
It's not like you're playing for Inter and Spalletti. It's like you watch Spalletti. It's like going to the hell before you actually made it.
First off, comparing Spalletti to Maradona, I don't know where you
We were talking about heaven and hell. So heaven is Maradona, hell is Spalletti.
Last thing before we get into it, what players come the closest for you from Maradona? For Napoli and in general.
Current football, any league, any
Since
players.
watching, since seeing Maradona live, what's a player that you see on Napoli that you think resembles him the most?
In Napoli.
In Napoli
Oh,
and
no,
in general.
the-
both.
in
Well,
general, in
I want to hear from Ludo.
Well, the position that the way Maradona played and the way Maradona was, Maradona made the average player become a better, above average player. That was the strength of Maradona, which Messi doesn't have. But right now, the player that I see in Napoli that has that same class and that same distinguished feat is Insigne. Basically, that's the only one I see. But then you have the characteristics of a captain is Hamsik. He's the all-time leader.
Listen,
he
if Castano
passed
would be
Giuseppe
playing in Napoli,
Bruscolotti.
if Castano would be playing in Napoli,
They
would
throw
be
rocks
just
at him.
the
If
closest one
Castani
to
would have been in
Maradona.
Napoli back in the 80s, without the social media, Castano would have been smacked every Sunday.
No way.
And it would have never made it out of the
You
locker
will
room.
be so lucky
It
to
would have
have
never
somebody
made it
like
out of
that.
the locker room.
That guy,
without social media.
Listen, if Maradona if Maradona is God, Cassano is St. Peter, just right below him. Okay, and Cassano's got the door for the heaven. If Cassano says that you're a good player, you get in. If you're a bad player, you go straight to hell. You go to see Spalletti.
Any way to relate to
What is
that?
Spalletti doing?
Wait, what about
He just described in 3 words the divine comedy of Dante Alighieri.
where's Mourinho there? Is he
Mourinho,
after the
forget-
entrance?
Oh, Mourinho, forget
One
it.
foot in, right?
Yeah, below. Mourinho's below Spalletti.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, good. I wanted to give just a little general because I know there's a lot of Napoli fans who watch and they always want to hear from somebody. So it's good to have that
It's
take.
not. It's hard to explain a Napoli fan from Naples, because most of the fans. Okay, I'm a Barcelona fan, even though I'm from Peru, because Messi or other players play there. But when you have your own city, when you're a fan of the team of your own city, it is something that you cannot explain. You simply have to live it. You have to be in it. You cannot
Well
explain
said.
it.
Well
Well,
said.
it's also, if you think about it, Napoli, as far as the city is concerned, one of the bigger cities in Italy, is a one-team city. You look
Correct.
at Milan, you look at Torino. These have 2 teams, and instead of Naples, because my mom's from Naples area, all my cousins, they're all Napoli fans because that's what it is,
Don't forget
Yeah.
Benevento
and there's
too,
nothing
right?
else. Well,
Yeah.
Benevento.
But that's the reason why they have the Camorra. That's why, you can only have one team over there. Otherwise, that's it. Otherwise, they let them wipe you out.
But I think now, like you talk about social media, what would happen to Cassano, but I think that you're starting to see a lot of Napoli fans, not just from Naples, because they love the style that they play, and because
Attractive
Ancelotti
football.
or they love Insigne or they love Koulibaly. Koulibaly's one that he wasn't nominated for African Player of the Year,
Which
but
is ridiculous.
I think that
He
guy
should
was-
have won. He should have won.
him and Salah,
Him
I
and
think were the
Salah
two best.
probably,
But
yeah.
No,
either way,
absolutely. Well, to keep my understanding is Benatia was kept in and Koulibaly
yeah,
was
it doesn't
left
make
out.
sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Benatia can only shine
shine the
Koulibaly's
shoes. Yeah.
But even
Koulibaly is a leader. He
A
has the
warrior.
presence. He's a warrior.
no, he's amazing.
Benatia, yes, he's an average player, but Koulibaly,
He's one of some of the
best
funny comments they were saying.
Maludo, he made a mistake on the Champions League that cost us Napoli to.
No, that was
to-
not his
Wow.
mistake.
That
Let's-
was him.
Let's go to
Mario
the.
Rui.
Let's
That
go.
was
That
Rui's
was his mistake.
No,
Well,
that
Rui
wasn't.
makes 5
No.
mistakes every minute. That guy for now.
That was Koulibaly trying to make up for a Mario Rui mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Mario Rui, that
1000%.
entire game, we'll go into the Champions League. Mario Rui,
It's
that
not
entire
just that
game,
game though.
that was bad for Mario Rui.
But it's not just that game. I don't think we lost the Champions League qualification because of that game. We lost it in
France.
In
no,
Serbia?
we lost it in previous games. In today's soccer, if you tie a game, it's equivalent to a loss. Napoli had too many ties. I understand against PSG 2-2, you have a player like Di Maria, world-class player, 93rd minute. You take one of those shots, it's a goal. There's nothing you could do. You could just applaud the guy for a marvelous goal. But what really, 2 things really made me upset as a Napoli fan. The first game tying 0-0 against Stella
with
Rossa
the Stella
away,
Rossa, that was bad.
and then the home game against Stella Rossa, when Napoli was winning 3-0, you give up the goal 3-1. Everyone knows, even my unborn son knows, that if you go to Liverpool and you lose 1-0, you're out. You have 30 minutes left in the game. You have to score the 4th goal.
And the last minute against PSG though that they conceded, they were up 1-0 the whole game, and then Di Maria at the end scored.
There's
Yeah,
nothing you can do
but-
on that.
I'm just saying.
That's one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
I agree. That's luck. But against Stella Rossa, you know you were going to lose 1-0 and you're out. You got to look. You have 30 minutes to score an extra goal.
Ludo,
you have to score
if you
the
have
extra
to
goal.
compare Sarri with Ancelotti, tell me the pluses, the minus about both coaches. If there is any minus on Ancelotti, tell me.
Sarri is a coach that he has his Sarri. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, Sarri is like a musician. Okay, that he has his music, and he reads his music that way, and that's what he believes, and that's the notes that he's gonna play every single night, every single game, every single concert. That's what you're gonna hear.
He's
not
follow
going
the
to
script.
improvise.
He's going to follow the
He's
script.
going to follow the
He's
script.
not capable.
He believes on that 4-3-3. He believes in those plays that can execute his style of play to the best. And he believes that even those players are at 50% of their abilities, that they're tired or they're drained out, that they could still be worth 100% than somebody else on the bench.
What about Ancelotti then?
Ancelotti can move things around. Ancelotti can go from a 3-5-2 to a 4-4-2 to a dynamic 4-3-3. Ancelotti is a variety player. He's a coach. He can adjust the team according to who he's playing against. Sarri, no matter who he played against, that's the formation, 4-3-3, same style of play. That's it.
And he burns out his players like that.
Correct.
He doesn't-
Because you only use 13 players.
He use up to 75% of the season. And after that, your players just get too fatigued and tired to
Correct, because
continue.
you're using the same
Exactly,
play.
the
There's a lot of
same
running.
lineup.
It's the
No
4-3-3.
rotation.
We were discussing before. You guys like Callejon and Insigne with Sarri's style of play, that those guys
You
are
have to
doing
be up and
11
down.
kilometers
No
in a
way,
You
no
can't.
way.
You cannot be fresh when you reach the 65th minute. You cannot be fresh anymore after you do 20 times up and down 70 meters coast to coast. You can't do that anymore. You can't go up and down.
So let's put them on the balance. So I would say Ancelotti's here. And
No. It's not who's there and who's not there. It's a different style of interpreting and executing the style of the game. Now, as far
I
as
disagree
European-
with you, Ludo. To me, Ancelotti is a better coach. It's much smarter than Sarri. And Sarri, he thinks he got a little bit ahead of himself too fast. Sarri didn't win anything. Right or wrong, Pete? Contradict me if I'm right.
If you wanna compare just based on what trophies won, yes, Ancelotti is a better coach. Every coach has a different
Guys,
method.
Sarri was a banker up
Exactly.
to 50 years of age. The
Oh,
guy
wow.
was a banker.
He should have told
He
him
was
to
a
keep-
teller in the
You should have told him to keep his day job. Okay.
Come on. Forget about that because we talk about it so much. I want to talk about the game that we watched, the
Okay.
Liverpool 1-0, all right,
Yeah.
against Napoli. A match where I understand that this was one of the ones because this was a terrible week for Serie A in general. All of our Italian teams, one of the worst that I could remember in recent times.
None of them won.
Nobody won,
Yeah.
right?
It was one draw.
Napoli, they know that if they score one goal in Liverpool
Correct.
against Liverpool has to score 3 because they were up 1-0. You have to win by 2 goals. By 2 goals.
Correct.
And I understand that Anfield is a place that is very difficult to play in. I understand that the fans are all there, blah, 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 all that stuff. But I think that Napoli could have done better in that aspect. I think that when you got Callejon, who's not expecting the pass to go past his defender, and you have that chance, those are the little details that prove to be the ones that send you out of the Champions League. I know Liverpool's a good team, but even Milik at the end, I think that we talked about this before too, and I want to hear your perspective. We always said, and I think my dad was the one who brought it up, that they need a striker that would be able to change the game and to be deadly in those moments when you need them. Not somebody who, because to me, Insigne and Mertens, the entire game, they didn't do enough. They didn't do enough to be able to score a goal where you needed to score a goal. Because you're not going to keep a clean
Icardi
sheet.
will have buried
And
at least
listen,
one of those.
And I just want to add,
Pete?
at the San Paolo, their first leg, Napoli completely outplayed Liverpool, and they could have won 3-0. The second leg, where they lost 1-0, it was a complete opposite. 2 different teams, it looked like.
Well, Liverpool is 2 different teams. Liverpool in Champions League, away from Anfield, they lost every game. They're 2 different teams with 2 different faces. At home, they become, I guess it's the fans, it's the home field. It's a very physical team. They pressured Napoli where the plays had a start. That's where they pressured. And they did very well on pressuring and not allowing any space. Amsic missed passes that not even a 12-year-old kid would miss because he didn't have time to think. Amsic played one of his worst games I've ever seen in Napoli. The only 2 players, to my knowledge, that survived that game were Koulibaly and Allan. Allan is a warrior. He can play with any team around the world. But Napoli in the midfield missed too many passes because of the pressuring that Liverpool did not allow Napoli to do what they do best.
But was it the pressure that got to them? We saw Callejon missing.
I don't think it's the pressure. I think it was.
That came from 2 goals the previous game in the Serie A. He had 1 touch and another. He had 2 touches.
And Insigne was completely out of the game.
Insigne wasn't there. Mertens didn't go. Was it the pressure that got to them? And why couldn't Ancelotti instill this mentality?
It's a combination of bad luck too. It's Insigne. We've been known to be a little choker. Insigne has been a choker. On the important games, Insigne chokes us all the time. He does it when he plays in Italy, and he does it when
I don't think so.
Well, he scored against Liverpool at home on the 90th minute.
No,
He's
but
been-
now,
he scored
now that the game was on the line and the
He
qualification
scored against Real Madrid
he didn't
last
come
year
through.
in
So
Champions
what
League.
happened at the last game? He disappeared. He just
A lot of players, Antonio, a lot of players disappeared, starting with Amsic, Callejon, Insigne, Mertens, Mario Rui. I mean, you cannot watch the guy play.
Unwatchable.
Unwatchable.
That was-
Ospina, great game. Only that mistake on Salah's goal. But like I said before, Liverpool at home is a total different team. Is a completely different team. It is basically unbeatable at home. Away, they put on a different suit, different mentality, the way they play. But it's not the same team on the away. And they lost every game. Look, they even lost against Stella Rossa in the Champions League.
Didn't get the. Oh yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
The away
right.
games.
It
They
was-
lost all their games.
It was
away.
just, I know that Napoli had the group of death. They had the toughest group. I think that they went, again, tied on points. It went not even to goal difference. What was it? Goals scored, that they ended up going out to. So it's just a tough pill to swallow, I think, as a Napoli fan, where you know you have a good team, you know you had a good coach, you know you had a lot of things going for you, where it could have been that leap to the next round.
Correct. Now, to make that leap, Marco, to go to the next level, like you said before, you need certain players.
Like a Cavani.
Yes. In order to have certain players, you need a budget, which Napoli does not have the budget to pay a player like Cavani 10, 12, 13 million a year. You just do not have that. You need that budget. So Napoli, yes, you have a great team. You have a wonderful team. It's fun to watch them play. It's a great group. The locker room is very united. They play great soccer. Beautiful. But you're missing something in order to bring that team to the next level.
I agree with you.
A little bit of luck, but you also need those players that they have to be there, the decisive moments.
I agree.
You got to count on that player and say, listen, pick the team up, put the team on your shoulder, and take us to the promised
I agree
Isn't
land.
that
with
what Hamsik has to do, or are they missing like a killer striker that we're talking
another
about?
No,
choker.
he's not that.
The captain's
He's
supposed to
another
do that,
joker.
no?
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's not.
he's
It's
not-
not. It's also the position that he's playing now. It's also the position that he's
Away
playing
from
now,
goal.
and the way they were pressuring him, he did not play. Yes, I don't think Amsic at this point is a player that can make a difference in Champions League. Serie A, yes, I agree. Serie A, but not in Champions League. You need total different.
And then also,
you need different players.
Like you said, they put him. Ancelotti's using Hamsik farther away from the goal. So
the
he's not-
Jorginho position.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
scoring as many goals as
Yeah.
he's had. He's older now, so it's difficult. Napoli doesn't have that real goal scorer, like we said, like that star goal scorer. You know,
picks
they were
it up
able
even when the game goes
Mertens has been a surprise for the past 3 years, and I think he's definitely a good player. But I don't know if that's the next level player that Napoli really needs. Insigne, same thing. He's putting him closer this year, Ancelotti, closer to the goal. He's scored more goals. I think it's hard to pinpoint, one game, he's a choker. No, it doesn't work that way. Sometimes, you have bad games. He created a chance for Callejon. Callejon puts that ball in the back of the net. Different story.
Milik
Milik scores the goal.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, there's another team in front of you that want to win just as bad as you.
Yeah.
Allison makes the save. He probably didn't even know what was coming after him, but goalkeeper's job is make yourself as big as possible. Hopefully you block.
You had to
And it
get
happened.
into that game in a better position,
Yeah.
knowing what you were getting against, who you were going against.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool at home, it is extremely
Oh,
dangerous.
yeah.
They're
But
in
wait a
first place
moment.
in the EPL.
One thing I gotta say, I watched the game. I was working. I said, hey, that's it. I said, I had to cancel one of my appointments. I said, I gotta watch this game because there were 3 or 4 games going on at the same time.
Nobody
Yeah, we're
should
gonna
work
go
when
to the
Napoli
next
plays.
game.
On my back it was Inter.
be a
On my
holiday.
back it was Inter, and then I said, I'm gonna choose Napoli. So because I wanted Napoli very badly to go through. But anyway, seeing Napoli defending for the entire first half, for and have Liverpool just constantly putting pressure on them. I said, what the hell am I watching this? This is not this is not Napoli. Napoli normally just takes the ball, comes out very very quietly, with a lot of
It was
orders.
different.
Liverpool did not allow them to
like
do
you
that.
said, Liverpool against Liverpool.
They
it was
were
difficult.
pressuring. They did not allow.
I think that the only last thing that
20
it could have
minutes,
been, it could have been. I would have liked to see Milik starting up top, just because you have that Van Dijk. And I can't remember who their other center back is, but they're very big, powerful guys. Yeah. So I think if they would have had Milik, he could have held the ball up and allowed everybody to get up. Anyway, another team that disappointed, and I think this one was horrible. I mean, Peter with Inter, 1-1 against PSV.
Barcelona did their job that they were supposed to.
What we
So at
were
the end
most
of the
scared
day,
about was that. We were most scared that Barca
Barcelona
at
weren't gonna
home,
do
they
it.
couldn't lose. It ended up, it was a tied game.
was
But
ended up
Inter
couldn't do the
at
job.
home at the San Siro, tie 1-1 to PSV.
I mean, we talked about it in the last podcast where everyone's like, oh, Inter's going to win easily. I said it's going to be a lot harder than we thought because PSV is giving trouble to all the teams, Barcelona, Tottenham. So they weren't a pushover. But saying that, Inter with 70,000 fans in attendance, you're at home. You have the star players. This is a game that you have to
must
take
win.
care of your job, which is to win. And then whatever happens, happens. Tying this game is a disappointment and a disgrace to the fans and our hopes. Maybe in the beginning of the Champions League, when the first the draw came out of who was in our group, it would have been acceptable to say, "Oh, Inter is gonna crash out or be third place." But then with how things went, right? You had 2 games, not 1 game, 2 games at hand to really settle it, and you let everything go. We talked about Spalletti, decision making, et cetera, but Asamoah, let me tell you, that this weekend
What a disgrace.
was
What
one
a
of his
disgrace.
worst
This
weekends.
guy in the Juventus was like a superstar.
And that's what's upsetting because
Because he
he's
was playing around superstars.
yeah. But the upsetting thing is the whole season he's been playing well. From a player that has Champions League experience like Asamoah
And big
to
game
make certain
experience.
mistakes is unacceptable. To not really, they look too frantic. Even the first half, second half, they're like
very
they try to-
disorganized
yeah.
and too much pressure.
they
play with a lot of nerves.
And the worst thing was that PSV was able to break through Inter. They could have easily scored on a counter. Who knows?
Easy,
Look
at
it
least
up.
another 2 times.
PSV
I
was
watched
playing
it.
great.
Yeah.
That's the most surprise. It's not even the score line. It was that PSV, you could say, deservedly got a tie against Inter in the San Siro.
And then after that, Inter scores the goal. Right, Spalletti made the changes to put Keita. He took out D'Ambrosio.
Right.
And what does he do?
Lautaro Martinez too, all
Yeah.
the time when it's too late. First they have to be down 1 goal before they have to wake up, and then they finally tie the game,
And
and
then-
then they're listening to the radio, to the TV, or maybe to the iPhone and say, hey, what's the score over here?
Yeah, but besides that, he takes out a game where you have to win.
Or he took
At
out
1-1, he
Politano.
takes out
Oh,
Politano
that's
to
bad.
put
That's
to
a
put a
disgrace.
right back,
Yeah, that was very
recycle.
bad.
But this
Giving
is
the wrong message to the team maybe, and then also, trying to defend a tie or trying to keep a tie. It doesn't.
But Pete,
Doesn't make
Once I
sense.
saw Candreva starting, I was thinking to myself, it didn't make any sense to me.
No.
The entire game from there, the entire game was
Especially
bad.
Lautaro Martinez, Keita on the bench. Keita, who scored 3 goals in 2 games. Yeah.
But Marco, listen, I don't know if you, Ludovico, correct me if I'm wrong. Once you know that the chemistry of the team and the quality of the player that you have available for yourself are set already, there is nothing that you can invent. Why don't you place them on the field, put them right there, and just let them play? Spalletti is gonna have to invent something just because at the end of the game, if something goes right, let's say it, that was nobody thought about that I did that. But then when everything goes wrong, what happened? You look like an idiot. Okay, this guy here for twice in a row, it doesn't start. He put Perisic. He looks like it's like a shade of himself. It's like somebody that has never
I think too
played
many
soccer.
games.
And then Politano was the best player in Inter up to that point, and he takes him out. And who does he put in? Candreva was not supposed to start. Okay, I mean this guy is second guessing himself every single week.
Well, what
Every
happened?
week.
What happened was that Vecino was injured, and due to financial fair play, João Mauro and Gagliardini were not allowed to be in the roster. So he had to scramble something in midfield. I guess to not risk, he put Candreva, who's more of a midfielder that could track back than a Lautaro Martinez that doesn't have much experience, and Keita Balde was more of an attacking player rather than a midfielder.
Keita Balde should have started the game.
I would have started Keita Balde, but maybe
no
not
problem.
for Candreva's place, maybe for Perisic's place.
Paris,
Who knows?
forget about it.
I'm with you, Peter. I think I'm on the same mentality. This is a team, again, a very, very difficult group with Barcelona and Tottenham, who are two very good teams, and PSV, who cause problems to everyone. Before the draws, you would have said, okay, if Inter falls 3, they're really not, the best. But with 2 games to spare, and against Tottenham, the second to last game, never needed to happen. They complicated their lives in a way that never needed to happen. And still, when you play at home, it's not like the game was in Netherlands. If the game's in Netherlands, maybe you could say there's a sort of
But
an
it's San
excuse.
Siro.
The game is in the San Siro.
PSV
You
had
have to win.
The PSV
With a
had
sold
anything to
out.
play
It
for.
looked like-
They're already
No,
out.
they were
PSV
out.
were already out.
It
also.
looked like PSV were looking to qualify for second place,
Yeah.
and Inter were the ones already
was
out.
bad.
Honestly, that's how bad it was.
I just think that talking about Inter, to paint an overall picture of the season, including Champions League, there are certain players, key players in Inter that were great players that played great season last year, that this year they're not in shape.
Perisic.
Such as?
Perisic, Brozovic, and a couple of others that after the World Cup, they're not in the same shape and they don't have the same pace as they had last season.
And Versalic was always
and
injured,
I
too.
think Spalletti at that point, he doesn't have the character or the personality to say to those guys, listen, sit down and let somebody else play because they have to play.
Then he's not a good coach.
I don't
That's
know.
what
Well,
I've
we
been
don't know.
saying.
Antonio, we don't know what happens in the locker room. We don't know what the agreement
Listen,
is.
the locker
as
room
far-
has got nothing to do with that.
No,
You're
no,
the coach.
Antonio, the locker room has a lot to do because you probably, if you keep those 2 guys out, the locker room can break in half.
That's true. But listen, by
The locker room can break in
What's
half.
the leader on Inter? On your Icardi is the only one. That's
no,
it.
no, but Icardi
Vanda.
also has.
Oh, Wanda maybe.
Icardi also has his players. Do you know one of the?
So you're telling me
Okay.
that Icardi is telling the coach,
you know what
by
there
the
is-
way, I want those 2 guys on the field. I don't want the other 2.
There was a player in Serie A that could have been a great player. Actually, 2 players in Serie A that wherever they played, they always broke the locker rooms. One of them is Baggio. You know who the other one is?
No.
Cassano.
Why? Tell me which Cassano never influenced anybody.
Cassano was always a pain in the butt in the locker room because he wanted things to go his way. He would always talk when he was not supposed to talk. He would go to the coach's face and tell him what he really thought, like a 12-year-old kid, and go to other players and say, oh, you didn't pass me the ball, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, not talk
And
to
he's
them.
right. And he's right. He's right.
Okay,
Cassano
but
knows.
now you have
Cassano knows. Cassano knows. Don't disrespect Cassano. Cassano's got balls. Okay, listen to me. Cassano's got balls. He was the one going to face. Listen, tell me of a player that goes face to face to a coach and tell you don't know what the hell
That
are you
doesn't
talking
work
about.
that way. But
Cassano, he had it. He had it here and he had it everywhere.
In Real Madrid,
Okay.
he almost smacked Capello.
We should have done that. Because he's a champion. He's a champion. I
The
told
guy
you.
was coming home at 5 a.m. in the morning from the discotheque. He would not show up to
Cassano-
practice and he expected to start the
Cassano,
next game.
Even with no legs or with one leg, is better than a lot of those players that we just named right now.
Ludovico, is that true?
Okay, even when he's drunk.
I don't
Okay?
think Cassano, listen, to my
Give me
opinion, I
a
don't think
break.
Cassano can hold the alcohol the way the way Maradona used to.
Let's move on.
Wait, before we go ahead, Marco, wait. Before we go ahead.
Open
This
up
is,
again.
listen,
Finish it,
one
finish
thing
it.
that caught my attention today
Yeah.
while I was watching the Liverpool game, I was doing
Yeah.
some computer work on my desk. I see Shaqiri scoring 2 times. I said, didn't this guy used to play for Inter? Oh my God. I said, yo, those are all players. Every great players that Inter lets go, they become superstars everywhere else.
Well, he had
Roberto
a-
Carlos,
listen,
back
he
in
had-
the 90s,
he had a
he
hard-
left Inter, he became a great Real
Well, he
Madrid.
had Pirlo that he let go, and he came to AC Milan. We won everything just about with Pirlo.
Happy anniversary to AC Milan today, by the way. Today's their birthday.
And Parma and Frosinone.
yeah.
Okay, well, it's a birthday. Okay, thank you. Hey, happy anniversary. We need to win a little bit. Okay.
Okay, let's keep going. We'll finish off with the Champions League with Juventus. They also, this match, another one that didn't really mean too much. They risked losing first place. If Manchester United won, Valencia ended up beating Manchester United. Juventus lose their first loss away from home all season, 2-1 to Young Boys. Another one where it looked like Young Boys they had nothing to play for, but they were still fighting and trying to qualify. And Juventus, they lost the match.
And Young Boys' first ever Champions League win, I think you said.
First ever Champions League win.
crazy.
Wow.
But
I
remember,
never knew
Champions
that.
League win brings in $3-4 million for
Yeah.
that
That's
particular
true,
team.
which
So
is-
basically, knowing Young Boys and they got that $3-4 million, they probably paid the salaries of 5-6 players for the entire year.
And just like PSV, I would say that Young
You're
Boys
right.
really played
No, but
great football.
I think if Juventus needed to win the game, Juventus would have won the game.
Yeah.
It's that they received the bench received the notices what was happening the Manchester game that they were losing. So Juventus thinking that they had Torino over the weekend, the derby. So they
Was more
said if Manchester United is losing, we don't need to win this game because they're losing 2-0. So it's just one of those games that you hear the score from the other, getting basically reaching your goal, but without really getting anybody tired. And you have a game on Saturday against Torino. You know that Torino is going to come out 150% because it's the derby.
Yeah.
And so
Luckily,
that's what I think
Dybala
what
came
happened.
in. He put Dybala in. Dybala scored a beautiful first goal. He scored a second goal, which was offsides because Ronaldo went for the movement of the ball. And very late, it would have been a beautiful goal. But either way, like you said, Juventus finished first place.
Right.
Tomorrow is the draws for us today while you guys are probably watching. Juventus could play Atletico, Tottenham, Liverpool, Schalke, Ajax, and Lyon, while Roma could face Man City, Bayern, PSG, Barca, BVB, Dortmund, and Porto. So what do you guys think?
Roma's got a tough draw.
Real quick for Juventus, I think we know who the obvious ones to avoid are,
But
but
you guys gonna win everywhere. You're gonna win anything. You're gonna.
I
win
thought
the
you said Inter was supposed to win the
Well,
triplete this year.
In the Europa
Maybe
League
they're gonna
too.
win the-
Juventus, I don't think that Juventus, I don't think has any problems, any issues against all the teams that you mentioned that finished second place. Juventus will move on to the following
the
round,
quarter.
and that's when when the teams
Yeah.
become now that you can play against a Real Madrid
Yeah.
or you can play against other teams. Then that's when the real Juventus has to show up. But any of those teams, Juventus 100%, a healthy Juventus, a concentrated Juventus, any of those teams cannot even.
Marco, I had a couple of things
Correct.
to ask to Peter because
Yeah.
it caught my attention while I was still working on
the
my
computer.
What caught your
Yeah.
attention?
So
Tell us.
What caught my attention was Icardi scoring. Of course, he scored. He tied the game with PSV, and then I seen Vanda Nara crying at the end of the game. I said, hey. She's like the playmaker of Inter. In other words, if she decides that Icardi stays in Inter, that's her decision. It's not even his decision.
He said that.
So he has no
Okay.
say.
He said
Let
they
me
asked
tell
him about
you.
the renewal, and he said, "I just listened to my team,
And
Vanda, and then I
the second
signed."
thing that
That's
caught my
good.
attention was the Juventus manager at the game or the Champions League game or
Marotta.
Marotta.
He's not
He
Juventus.
wasn't at the Champions League.
No, it wasn't at the Champions
No, I
League.
think
It
it was
was
not.
at
but
this-
it was
Yeah.
it was during
Yeah.
yesterday's game. So what happened when Icardi did the cucchiaio? I think the price went up. So
It's true. It's probably
so
true.
then Vanda is going to say, okay, we got two issues over here. My husband is the only one scoring over here, and you have a bunch of losers over here surrounding my husband that they made him lose the Champions League, a possibility to go further during the,
But you know what? It's
stuff.
it's a good problem to have that you have someone that scores all the time.
But now
Unlike
you're gonna have to
Milan.
go. Wait, no, that's okay. We'll address that.
Mic drop right there.
Listen, well, I'm gonna address that question for
Okay,
you right
okay.
away. And the second issue is, hey, no, you got Marotta. You got nothing to you have to worry about it. This guy here is gonna go into the pocket of the Chinese kid. Is gonna say, hey, you want to keep this guy here? Give him another $100 million on the top of what he makes
Listen,
right now.
Marotta has been very good as a dirigente with Juventus, Sampdoria in his whole career. And also, you know what he's great at? Finding the right player at the right price.
Price, yeah.
Pirlo, Pogba, all these
Yeah.
players, free transfer. So he knows what he's doing.
So that means you're
He's-
gonna get a couple of very good players for Icardi.
No, what I'm trying to say is that he's gonna be able to balance the team. Or Inter right now, as long as they respect the books with financial fair play, you can offer Icardi more money. He's the player that's the face of the franchise.
Yeah.
He's your captain. He scores the goals. Why wouldn't you pay the guy?
Yeah.
But I think Antonio says a lot of crazy stuff, but I think he's absolutely right. I think that they're looking at, Vanda sees how many goals he scores, and they're going to ask for more money. But I mean, every year it seems like they're doing
Listen,
renewals
yeah,
now.
I
But
feel-
Icardi is the world-class player at Inter.
But I feel
No?
like, is it just me?
Well-
Like you said, every 6 months I feel like his
Ludovico, listen to me.
Mike.
Mike, Ludovico,
What?
listen to me. Tell me if you
Go.
agree with me. In the 80s, right? You remember watching the Maradona, you remember watching the AC Milan, Gulli, Spalletti, Gulli, Van Basten.
You
Van
love that
Basten,
name.
Rijkaard, all of those superstars. Did the camera ever focus on the wife of a player or someone else?
Were they agents
So
though?
now, wait a moment.
It's
now,
a different football now.
It's
Different
a
time.
what,
It's a
different
what's-
football.
what has
It's
changed?
different time.
The business
Well, the
side,
money,
the business
the
side has
business side.
developed
Is
a
the
big deal.
business side.
Correct.
A lot about it is
Okay.
how you sell yourself off the field.
Vandanara means business.
Yeah, she's his
Vanda means
agent.
business,
But
so-
it's not
Vanda
about.
means
It's
this.
not about. It's not about Wandanara. I don't think it's about Inter. I think it's about that a day will come at the end of the season where husband and wife are going to sit down. You know, she's his manager and say, she's going to say to Mauro, "What do you want to do with your life as a player?"
She's not going to do that.
Let me finish.
She's not going to do
Let me
that.
finish. Let me
She tells him, "This is what I want, and this is what you do."
It's not what you no. Sometimes as a player, you want to win something. You want to be remembered by picking up a trophy and winning something. Now, do you want to stay with Inter
And never win anything?
Correct. But we will have an extra couple of dollars in our pockets. Or maybe there's a team out there, and there's only a couple of teams in the world that can make an offer to Inter, which you cannot refuse.
Real Madrid,
Because
who's
Real
lacking
Madrid,
goals.
Barcelona, those
Barcelona.
guys, when they really want a player, they'll come at you and they will offer you double the money, double the salary than what Inter offered, and you cannot say no because
Unless
the life.
unless he wants to stay at Inter.
Correct. That's
Unless
what
he
I
wants
said.
to
So
stay
they
at
have to
Inter.
discuss, what do you want to do? Do you want to win? And that's what happened with Higuain when he was to Napoli. That's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
that's true.
Higuain lost the final in the Americas Cup. And Higuain said, "Look at me. I'm 30 years old. I play for Napoli. I never won anything in my life. I probably will never win anything with Napoli. I want to win something. I want to win the Champions League. I want to pick up a trophy. I'm 30 years old." Dybala spoke to him in the locker room. He called Marotta. "Listen, we have this player that we can get. 90 million euros. We could buy this player." And that's why he went to Juventus to win something.
What did he win? He won the campionato.
Well, he
big
won a
deal.
couple of Scudetto, and then look how Juventus treated him, which I think that's
treat
what
him like garbage.
I
De
think,
Laurentiis
correct.
kicked him out apparently though.
No, no,
treat him
no,
like
no,
garbage.
no, no.
I'm just
He's
saying
right,
what
he's
he
right.
said.
De Laurentiis never puts anybody on the market. De Laurentiis had
think
a
he
lot of
wants
They had
offers
some
from
like that.
feud.
Koulibaly.
Mike, De
Higuain
Laurentiis-
pointed
De
to De
Laurentiis
Laurentiis
is a
after he
gentleman.
scored again.
De Laurentiis is a gentleman. De Laurentiis offer money to.
The Juventus doesn't
offer-
need to
Whatever.
balance the budget.
Forget
De
it.
Laurentiis
Who
has
cares?
the money.
Who cares?
But
Doesn't
this
matter.
is what
Doesn't
I think
matter.
is going to happen at the end of the season. If there's a team out there that really wants Icardi, that needs Icardi,
They're gonna get him.
they will make an offer that Inter will not refuse.
But it's not going to be double the money. It's going to be just a few more
Who
million.
cares? Either way,
I
either
think
way.
Icardi's
That's the only
ready
way
to
it's
go.
gonna happen.
Icardi's ready to go. I'm telling you right now. He actually no
Guys, it's all
Wanda.
speculation, though.
I'm
but
telling
whether,
you,
whether
Wanda
it does,
is ready to
okay,
go.
So listen to. Let's move on. Let's move
All
on.
right.
Let's talk about the facts, right? The last Europa League game, the last European game, we'll talk about Olympiacos against Milan. A match where once again, the fate is in our hands, is in the Italians' hands. Milan can't lose by 2 goals. They can't lose by 2 goals, and they somehow manage to lose by 2 goals. 3-1 in Greece. A match where, again, disappointing from the entire team. I'm trying to think off the top of my head a player that played well for Milan. I think that Cutrone and Higuain a few times very selfish, where the ball could have been played and possibly scored. And again, you have to almost, it has to go so perfect for Olympiacos, and you give it to them on a platter the
But
way
you
they
gotta
did.
understand, Milan are dealing with a lot of injuries, so you can't just blame it like that. How many injuries does
I understand.
They're
I don't
playing
think it's
their
a claim.
right back.
No,
Abate
I
as a
have my
center
opinion.
back.
I have my opinion.
Okay.
I think it was decided. This is what I think. Milan came to a point in the season the same way that happened to Napoli last year when they got eliminated from the Champions League. Sarri said, "These are the players that I have. These are the players that I can count on. We have a real shot in winning the Scudetto. Let's let the Europa League go." Milan,
Very
the way
possible.
Inter is playing, the way Roma is playing, Milan shot this year is
To make to the Champions
to
League,
make
yeah.
it to the Champions League to the 4th place. I think that's their primary goal. And Gattuso knows, Leonardo knows, and the organization knows they can only count up to a certain amount of players. Now, we only play on Sunday. We only have one game a week. Let's concentrate on Serie A. Let's finish fourth. Let's take out 30 million euros. And next year, we're going to Champions League.
Very likely.
That's my opinion.
I agree with Ludovico.
Well,
I think
but
that
they
not
played
not
the
that
best squad,
maybe
though.
no.
What are you saying? They
Maybe
intentionally did?
You don't have.
no.
He doesn't have the team to play 2 matches a game,
maybe
a week.
Maybe it's
not easy to play on
I'm not
Thursday
saying it's
and
easy.
Sunday.
So you think it was intentional?
And now, this is what happened with Napoli today. You think, yes, there's something. This is what also Ancelotti said. Ancelotti said on Wednesday, we are going for the Europa League. So now in order for Napoli to compete in Europa League, Napoli has to play certain players on Thursday and certain players on Sunday. So now Ancelotti said, okay, we're playing against Cagliari. Let me see if I put the second lines, the bench, let me see how far these guys can take me in Serie A and keep the second place intact. And on Thursday in Europa League, I will start the team that started against PSG, Liverpool, and all the other Champions League games. So you will see one Napoli on Thursday, and you will see one Napoli on Sunday.
Anto, as a Milan fan,
That's what
what did you think about their exit
disagree.
from Europa League?
I disagree. I
No,
think
but
that
in general, what did you think about Milan losing
it's
out of
bad.
the
It's
Europa League?
disgraceful. I mean, it's disgraceful. I mean, Gattuso, I'm sure he must be beside himself. I mean, you losing against, I understand you're losing against a very good team, but losing against Olympiacos.
Very good team. Oh,
Come on. Yeah, and Olympiacos is like you're playing, not even on Bay 80, where we have teams much better than that.
So what does it say about Milan if they lose?
Just
to
they don't
Milan
have,
Bay
they don't
Area?
have, they don't have the cheese and the mortadella.
What I'm saying,
the Olympiacos.
what I'm saying is that they downplay. They didn't give any value to the game itself. They just downplayed the whole situation, and they thought they had the game on the bag already.
No.
And the AC Milan, regardless of what we've been saying over here, has got a deep bench, very young and talented players. That all they have to do just do their job, not overdo, just play their position right. Olympiacos is not Bayern. It's not PSG. It's not Liverpool. It's not Manchester United or Manchester City.
But you also have to be
or
motivated.
Barcelona, Real Madrid. This
Okay.
is like
You
an
have to be
average
motivated.
team.
You have to have the right
It's like a
motivation. You have to write the right.
middle of the
So what?
of the
So
draw.
what? So okay.
So what
Let's
happened?
Taking that as the
They
truth.
didn't play the game with enough concentration for them to go through.
you go.
And do you think that's a right mentality for
That's
them to
bad.
have?
That's real bad.
Even
So,
though, what about the argument, like Ludovico said, that
I
maybe
don't think
you
so.
can't
I
have
don't
a...
buy into that. I don't buy into that. AC Milan is a team that when he goes into the field, he has to win. They go to play to win. They never try to tie, or they don't think about what Sarri did last year.
No, it was just a comparison. It's not because it's what I think what Sarri's decision last year was wrong.
Yeah.
But Sarri said, listen, I have 13 players. I'm going to use 13 players. I don't care what De Laurentiis says. And I cannot have both
try my
players
best.
on Thursday and Sunday. And I'm only 3-4 points behind Juventus. I want to win the Scudetto. So I'm going to let Europa League
Listen,
go.
unfortunately, it is unfortunate we don't have Bonaventura, but this is not an excuse. And you have a deep bench, you just develop the player and just adjust. Those people that they were not playing before Bonaventura was on the field, those are the kind of people you need to step up to the plate and say, okay, now he's out. I have to just show what I'm capable to do. Some of them they are, some of them they're not. So,
I don't like Abate and center back with Zapata.
but it's an emergency situation. We do not have Romagnoli.
Okay,
We don't
Mike,
have
say
Romagnoli.
what you're going to say.
Okay,
because
so-
Mike's
Musacchio is
agreed.
still injured.
Okay,
So-
what are you going to say?
Okay, I just want to say this is.
I didn't watch the game, thank God. Otherwise, I would have just killed myself. Just,
Olympiacos
You should have.
usually
Yeah.
wins the league every year. They won it like the past 10 years, except for last season. Then they started. They don't have the squad like they used to. This is one of the worst Olympiacos squads I've seen in years for sure. So I even betted against Olympiacos. I was like, they're definitely not
bet
going to
with
win.
me?
I actually bet with Mauro. I was like, no, they have a weak squad, bad defense, not going to do anything. But looks like Milan, I don't think they threw the game on purpose. I feel like Gattuso thought he had the game in his pocket already.
Nah, I
And
don't
they
think
weren't
so.
concentrated, and I think that's what happened at the end of the game.
After 5 minutes of the match, I looked to Michael. I said, Olympiacos is going to win this game for sure. He said, maybe we'll score one goal, but Milan's going to score for sure. I saw the way Olympiacos was playing. I saw the way he
to
was
be
playing.
honest,
I won $50. So
Milan were unlucky too.
I was-
They did miss a lot of chances, but
No,
at the end of the day, they weren't playing very
I know,
good.
I understand all that, and I know the penalty that Olympiacos
It was a
was
little
given
soft.
was
It
very
was a little
soft.
soft,
I
yeah.
mean, in the
I
end,
agree.
it was so soft. It shouldn't have been a
But at the end
penalty
of
to
the day,
me.
Milan didn't play.
Milan didn't play to
as a
win.
team.
Milan to me
They
didn't play as to win.
No.
Disappointing, but we have Inter, we got Napoli, we got Lazio. Lazio lost, but they were already qualified as second place, and
Roma lost.
I mean, in the Europa League.
Yeah.
So hopefully, maybe we can see
one team can
Napoli
win it.
or Inter.
But you know what? I gotta
or
tell you something
Lazio
else about
go
this.
to the
The fact
finals.
that we went out. Maybe Ludovico's got something. A little bit of the truth there is there, because AC Milan, as soon as they found out that Inter lost on the Champions League, they went downgraded to the UEFA League and said, you know what, let's lose the game. We're not going to be playing against those losers, so we don't even want to be a part of this championship anymore. So that's why we lost, and we just
So
gave it
you
to
guys
Olympiacos.
Go to Serie B then.
No.
next
That's a different story. That's a Actually, you know what? Let's make a bet right now. AC Milan,
Another bet.
AC Milan is going to be finishing on top of Inter Milan.
What's
Peter.
the bet?
We're going to be third or second. Third, would say third.
What's
Third
the
or
bet?
second?
What's the bet?
Third.
What's the bet?
Well, that Peter is going to shine my shoes for the next 20 years.
20 years.
Guys, comment
I'll do
down
that.
below a bet, and maybe we'll make it happen on the next podcast. Let's move on a little bit, real quick, to Serie A, just to do a little rundown. I know that Europa League and Champions League, there was a lot of things to talk about. We'll start with the Torino derby, real quick. Juventus 1-0 win. Cristiano Ronaldo, your boy, scored on a penalty kick where Zaza made. Zaza's always been that type of player. I think even for the Azzurri, where he tries so hard, but this is one of the
And he messes
opportunities
it up.
where if you didn't try so hard, it wasn't going to be a goal. He passed back to the second keeper after Sirigu went out. Juventus given a penalty kick. Another sloppy game, I thought, from both sides. Like you said, this derby, it's a difficult one to play in.
Absolutely.
It's a very
Absolutely.
intense.
Yes.
The Torino fans, they live. Torino's not going to go for the Scudetto.
They live for 2 games a year.
They live
Yeah.
for this match, and you could
Right.
see it. And I thought Torino played a great football, and I think Belotti was extremely surprising. Whoever saw the match, Belotti was the man of the match.
He was
Even though
controlling the
Torino
game,
lost,
yeah.
Belotti was fighting his ass off, and it pisses me off. I was so mad the entire match. Because they say all the times for freaking Italy, every other match that he plays, I've never seen him more hungry. But now 1 game a year, you're freaking running
He's the
like
captain,
that
that's why.
against Juventus. So
But
I was a
look,
little bit disappointed.
Torino could have. I think they really could have got the draw here.
Yeah.
They played so well. They pressured. They played great defense. And then Zaza ruins everything. He could have hit it on the side. He gives the ball back.
But
the
also the
slowest
goalkeeper-
ball.
Grande Zaza.
The goalkeeper also played his part.
But I know
Because
he did.
Mandzukic going away
That's
from the
true.
goal.
He didn't put
you
any
don't-
power
you
on the
don't-
ball though.
I
He
correct,
cost
but
them a
he's going
game.
away from the goal.
I'm convinced it would have
Accompany
ended
him
as a
outside.
draw. I'm really convinced.
I don't
Torino were
think-
playing great.
I don't think so,
They're
but
playing
I think
great.
I think my dad predicted a draw this one. I think a lot of us were expecting. Yeah, I think because it was one of those that Juventus was coming off a rough schedule. You thought
yeah.
maybe they could slip up because Torino's a good team, and it was in Torino in the Stadio Olimpico.
Zaza gave it up.
Zaza was disappointing, and again Juventus just grinded out with
Yeah,
that.
But that's the
that play.
difference. Every single time, Juventus, they could play a terrible game,
And just get
and
the
they'll
goal.
be able
Not
to
every
get the
game.
goal.
For
And
the most
I'm
part.
saying when they
95.
play,
And the VAR
when they
works
play,
for Juventus,
when they
right?
play poorly, they're able to get the breakthrough goal, whether it be a penalty or a late minute goal or whatnot.
But don't
But
we
then
see
we
that?
That's
also
what a great
saw,
team's supposed to do.
and so
Find
that's
a way
what,
to win.
exactly.
That's what it
So
is.
that's what I'm
Even
saying.
when you play
Sometimes
bad.
there was a coach that said, "I'd rather win 1-0 or." You win. The definition of winning 1-0 means that you're a great team. But we also saw late goals from Inter, from Napoli. So
Defense wins games.
Exactly.
Offense sells tickets.
Wasn't it the same thing today with Napoli? Napoli was 0-0 against Cagliari, a team unbeaten
home.
this season. Only Juve, Napoli, and Cagliari were unbeaten at home this season. And Mili comes through with the beautiful free kick.
Cagliari played a tremendous game.
Wasn't it one of
They
those
were
ones
just
that you say the
exhausted at
same
the
thing?
end.
That you say the
They were
Ancelotti played his part?
yes, but the difference is every other team has slip-ups and they'll lose or they'll tie. Juventus never seems to slip up. It's impossible. You could
Genoa, they
You
slipped up.
talk about Serie A 10, 15 years ago, right? You used to win the Scudetto with 72 points. Now you have to win with 98
Napoli,
points.
91
Napoli had
points.
91 points record
Yeah.
for Napoli,
In their history.
And they never won.
and they can't.
See,
even
I
win.
think a coach
But we have more teams and more points available.
up
too,
to a certain point, the coach can
It
prepare
was
the
the 16
team mentally,
team.
physically.
2000.
But are still the players that are going on the field, and you still, if you don't have the players with class, with quality that can make a difference, no matter who the coach is, you're not going to win the game. Yes, you can prepare,
I mean,
but you still need class on the field.
The
You need
coach does a big part too.
Same thing
there.
today.
But are still the
Like
players that
today.
have to.
That's true.
How many coaches got fired because the player, instead of scoring, hit the crossbar?
That's true. That's true.
And that game finished 0-0, and he was axed the following day.
we
but
could
if
ta-
that
we
goal
could
would
talk
have
about
got
right
in,
now.
he would have been a coach for another week.
We have the same situation right now with Di Francesco, where Corriere
Correct.
and Gazzetta say if he loses his match against Genoa,
Correct.
he's out.
He's done.
And a match where Genoa was up. Genoa was up and nearly, even in the late
yeah.
minutes of the game, they could have tied it. So you could have said the same thing. If VAR checks that one, where it could have been a penalty. If they give a penalty, they don't give a penalty. Di
Roma is
Francesco
also,
could have been out.
Roma is a particular city fan base. If you look at the Roma coaches in the past 25 years, there has been a different coach every 14 to 16 months. They don't last a lot. Something to do with the locker room. Maybe Totti was there before. But these coaches, they do not last. You never have a coach in Rome that can create something by staying 3 to 4 years and create a cycle,
Why do you
a
think
winning
so?
cycle.
Why do you think so?
Because I think the
much
piazza,
pressure, too much
pressure. The piazza is very demanding.
Isn't there pressure everywhere?
And they're very
No.
inconsistent.
There's
They're
pressure
very
everywhere.
See, the teams are very inconsistent. A lot of coaches were not successful in Rome, and they simply after 14 to 16 months, they rarely last 2 years.
But it's also how
They rarely finish the
how
second
the
year.
organization is run. Even with the culture of the teams, the culture of the fans, it influences your team. So, for example, Juventus is run differently than Milan is run, or Inter is run, even though they're top tier teams. Also, Roma, they're one of the better teams, but they don't have the same budget. They're more of a team like Napoli, right? Where their budget is very limited.
Napoli has the 5th budget in
Yeah.
Serie A. Napoli, budget-wise, is behind Juventus, Roma, Inter, and Milan.
Exactly.
That's
But
one of
so-
the things that they're being criticized for too, Roma, because they've sold a lot of big players.
They had
Yes.
to.
And they
To
didn't
balance the budget,
and
they
didn't
had to.
replace them adequately.
But if you look at in the stadium,
Well,
they're
you have
writing
to start
Palotta,
over again.
Goodbye.
So
Di
now
Francesco, goodbye. Monchi, goodbye.
you sold Allison, you sold Nainggolan, you sold
Well,
top
Allison, I
players.
can understand. When
Yeah.
you
Well,
offer that
I
much
think,
for a
I think
goalkeeper,
everybody
you
understands it,
start-
but they're
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
I think that the Roma fans are upset because they say, okay, we sold Alisson, but we didn't improve our team upon last year.
No,
Correct.
definitely
You have
not
to start
improved.
over again.
So what do we think? No, because it's a general discussion.
You're
Because
starting. A coach has to start over. Like Di Francesco could not continue what he started building. He had to start from scratch again because you sold the better players. You sold the.
so doesn't he deserve more
Allison.
time?
I don't think you have time. I mean, today's coaches in Serie A, you don't have time. The Serie A, you don't give time to nobody. Either you win or you're out because I could get the next.
that's not the right mentality.
You cannot fire the players.
Who are you going to get rid of? They're talking about Paulo Sosa. Is Paulo Sosa really going to come into the team and make
Nah,
a bigger difference than
absolutely.
Di Francesco?
It takes
What do you
I think
think?
it's it depends on the project that you have. You have to give the right amount of time to the coach, and it's also it doesn't make sense to just change a coach and change. You have to pick the right coach.
Yeah.
Like you want to complain about Spalletti. Okay, I understand Spalletti's not the best, but unless you can say, okay, I'm gonna go after Conte, and I see Conte being the coach for the next 2-3 years, it doesn't make sense to sack
I
your
agree.
coach.
I
Unless you think that changing the coach is gonna revamp the team or is gonna really change your circumstances. I don't know. Paulo Sousa, but believe it or not, when he was coaching with Fiorentina, played one of the Fiorentina side played one of the better football in Serie A.
For the first 4 months.
And
then they
they
faded.
beat Juventus. They
But
played with all the
Di Francesco
top
brought
teams.
Sassuolo to Europa League too, so you can argue both
And-
points.
and
Yes,
what he
no,
did-
no,
what he
without
did
a
against
doubt. But
Barcelona.
of course, but
That's pretty
sometimes,
level.
but if
Yeah.
it all depends on the players, because if the
That's true.
players do not react to the coach, locker room has a lot to do with it. If they don't react,
You're done.
then you're done. You don't need to
You're
be
done.
there anymore.
Anto, what do you think Roma should do right now?
Well, Roma, all they have to do, I think, make Totti step up into a different leadership role because Totti just been on the top of the tribuna over there, and then taking few pictures on autograph and just trying to read the game, and once in a while go down to the locker room. He's not going to do it. Totti's going to have to just step up as a leader over there. He's going to take over maybe the president, and is going to get involved into not scouting directly, but being more involved into purchasing and making decisions that is going to be.
What good is if you purchase and then you have to sell the following week? Look how many they sold 3 players last year: Alisson, Strootman, and Nainggolan.
Strootman was done. They did a great job on getting rid of him. Nangolan, listen to me. Nangolan didn't want to stay in Rome. That's why it was given away.
No, he didn't say.
And listen to me. And Alisson had a lot more money than Roma. They would have made an offer they could not refuse. Now, if Totti on a leadership role will say to them, "Hey, listen, guys, if you stay with
Napoli was also offered 65 million for Koulibaly. Napoli didn't sell him.
yeah, but Koulibaly likes the pizza, he likes the spaghetti, he likes
Come
the
on, what are
he
you
likes
saying?
he likes the burrata, he likes the buffalo mozzarella, he likes a lot of that stuff. So and De Laurentiis knows how to schmooze player too. So I'll tell you what's going on over here. It's the complex. It's the way your family fits into that particular city. Your kids, they're going to school, and the way you've been treated as a person and as a player. Because the locker room, yes, up to a point, but then if your society, if your life as a man, as a part of a member of a family, if you have a family with kids, does not really fit that city anymore, you're just gonna go. And I'll tell you what is gonna happen. I think Inter is going to just... Perisic, for example, is not a fit for Inter. That's why I think he's intentionally playing poorly, because he wants to move from there.
I don't think that.
You don't think so?
You don't play bad intentionally.
It's worse
How are you
for
going to
you.
get a move?
Yeah, listen. Icardi, on the other hand, look what he did. Okay, now let's just take this thing here very quickly. We have two separate penalties over here. Cristiano Ronaldo taking a penalty against the second goalkeeper of Torino. The guy almost made the save. He almost made the save. Icardi, with the game 0-0, if he misses the cucchiaio, if the goalkeeper just guesses, okay, Icardi can be in a deep shit. You can say that, right?
What's your point? You can
Okay.
say that. Don't worry.
Now listen to this. But Icardi, he had the balls,
Audacity, okay.
the audacity, the audacity to take the cucchiaio, and scoop it up into the middle, because he
shows his
said,
confidence.
Pirlo did it too in toughest times.
make it or miss it, Icardi will have still get the same amount of money. Okay.
Why does this always come back to
It has to be about money. Everything is
Wait,
about
what's the
money,
point?
right?
What's the point?
What's the point?
The
Yeah.
point is, if you don't fit into that particular team in the society, you're gonna go.
So what is taking the penalty have to do with it?
Why do we bring this up again?
Listen. If Icardi is worth $100 million right now, even with the miss of Cucchiaio, still going to be worth $100 million. That's why the guy, he had the courage and the
So
audacity
what does that
to
have to do with the
Cucchiaio.
family
Penalty's
society?
gonna change him? Of course
He
it's not gonna
knows that
change him.
the guy,
I don't
listen, the
understand.
guy, I think, is going to move.
Napoli offered 70.
Da Cucchiaio, let me answer your question. Da Cucchiaio is going to be the next, the
gonna
diamond
leave
on the
now.
ring
Oh,
for
Napoli
Van der Vaart, okay?
offered 70 million 2 years ago. Inter was ready to give him up, but he didn't want to go. But Napoli put 70 million on the table 2 years ago
To
when
who?
we sold
for Higuain.
Icardi.
for- no,
Icardi.
For
for
Icardi.
Icardi. The money that we got from Higuain,
That's true.
we were going to invest in Icardi. He said no.
They were close.
But
They were very-
but Inter was thinking about it. De Laurentiis went up to 70 million.
Peter's like, thank God.
So now, if you got Real Madrid that says, "Listen, I'm going to give you 120, 110, 120," you think Inter is going to say no? I don't think Inter is.
Listen,
Listen,
with
there's a
$80
lot of
million,
different factors.
with
Just like
$80
you said,
million,
Koulibaly, he said, I feel more Napolitano than I do anything else now.
correct.
So every player's got different ambitions. Alisson, they asked Alisson, he said, listen, Liverpool is an ambitious team. I know Liverpool wants to
I wanna
compete
win.
in the Champions League final, so I'm going to go to Liverpool. It's different. Everybody's got different ambitions.
Look at Totti.
Some want to win,
Totti
some want to
refused
become
Real
a legend.
Madrid. Totti
Exactly.
refused. No, I want to stay in Rome.
Exactly.
Okay, he became world champion and he won 1 or 2 Scudettos. I don't know.
Right.
But that, he could have won more in Real Madrid.
And that's what I think is going to happen to Icardi. Icardi wants to win. He's going to go.
We'll
That's
see.
what I
We'll
said.
see.
And
And
that's
no
something
money.
that husband and wife
There is
have to
no
decide
money
at the
that
end of the
Marotta
season.
is gonna just put it on the table for Icardi to stay on
Him
Inter.
and his wife will decide at the
Yeah.
end of the season.
What do
His
you want?
manager.
Icardi's gone. Icardi's gone.
Peter's a
So
little
say
bit
yes or
scared.
no?
What are
Yes
you
or no?
telling?
Yes.
It depends. How do you say yes or
I
no?
say yes. I say yes. You say no.
If Real Madrid
You
makes
say
the
no.
offer,
It's either black and white. It's not black, nerazzurro. It's black and white.
I see Icardi Napoli. I see
If-
Icardi as a
Icardi
great
Napoli,
fit.
no, I
I
see
think
Icardi.
Napoli.
no,
I think Icardi, the way Napoli plays,
Nico's getting happy over there.
the way
I mean,
the
if
way,
we're talking about going to other teams, we'll take him
the
at
way,
Juventus
the
too.
way Icardi plays, that he's a
sure.
typical center forward. That is not like a typical, like Ibrahimovic, like a typical box. You know, he does a lot of movements. He comes in, he checks in, he participates in the play, he distributes balls. I think the way Napoli and Ancelotti plays, I think Icardi would be a perfect fit for.
I don't
I
think
think
it would be a
he's
doubt,
not
but I
gonna
don't
go
think
there.
that he would go. If he goes,
not
he's going to
gonna
go to
go.
Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah, he's not
I
going to go to
think-
another Serie A team.
the best offer, if Icardi decides to go and Inter decides to sell him, it's gonna go to the best offer. Who's got the most money? You know, we saw
I don't
Coutinho
think
go
you're
for
right.
big money.
No, you're wrong, Pete. You're wrong.
He's not gonna go for big money.
He's gonna go in the place that his wife wants to be.
Where does his wife
to
want to
Sampdoria. Back
be? You
to
just
Sampdoria.
complain about
Madrid.
money
Madrid.
because of
Because of the you know the
Not
the
even
team
the money.
itself. No,
everything,
The team.
everything.
I don't know.
It's
Ludo,
the team.
did you want to finish something? Say.
no.
I was gonna cut you
Well,
off.
just one point I want to talk
Yeah.
about Icardi was Chiellini said he had, as far as like the two
Top
top
strikers.
strikers, right? He ever versed. Icardi is one of the two, and the other one is his teammate Ronaldo.
Yeah, he drives you crazy in the box 'cause he's
Chiellini
a lot of
is
movement.
for me the best defender right now, and for him to say that shows
100%.
you
That means a
what
lot.
type of striker Icardi is.
Inside the
I
box,
just
he was
wish,
talking.
It's
as
hard
an
to mark
Inter
him.
fan, we had more service for him.
Yeah.
He's
What?
a,
No,
he's a complete,
exactly.
He's a
Exactly.
complete forward. He has a
Exactly.
head. He has feet. He has technique. He's complete.
Wanda's
He is
gonna
a
show
complete
that
center
quote to Inter for more raise that Chiellini said.
Wanda, get him out of there, please.
No, don't.
I
We-
think
we wanna
he's
see
just
him.
sad because Icardi always scores against Milan in the last minute.
Listen, I will not discount if Icardi comes to play for AC Milan. Oh, my God, I would like to see Wanda with the black and with the red and black.
Oh, so
Wanda,
that's
you
what it
look good
really
with
is.
this shirt.
That's what it is.
I'm telling you. I'm
Quagliarella
telling
scored
you.
again today. And
sorry, who?
Quagliarella.
Okay.
We've talked about him a lot on this podcast. I want to get your opinion. We've talked about Quagliarella,
Napoletano pure, Ludo.
right?
Don't
We
be
talked about
biased.
Quagliarella to the Azzurri. And now let me set the foreground for it. We're not talking about as a future of the Azzurri, but we were saying in a match where Italy had to score, for the UEFA Nations League, and a player like Immobile, Belotti, they're not scoring. Do you think it would have been worth for Mancini to bring Quagliarella there to help teach, to put him in when you need a goal, just for short term?
I disagree.
No,
Wait,
it's just a question.
You
It's
wanna
just a
say
question.
Okay,
stats
no,
real
I
quick?
disagree.
You want to say stats?
I disagree
Say.
because I feel that at this point Mancini is creating the best plate possible based on the ingredients that he has in the refrigerator. And currently the Serie A refrigerator has very, very little to offer. The big players that can make a difference, there's only a couple. You have only a couple of players right now in Serie A that have Champions League experience. Bernardeschi, a few minutes. Insigne is one of the top players on the Italian national team. So now Mancini is thinking, the young guys, the Barella, that are playing for Cagliari, Atalanta, or Bologna, or the other Serie A teams, if I don't use these guys, they will never get a chance, most likely, to play in Champions League. If I don't use these guys to get some experience on the national team, when am I going to use these guys? And that's what we're lacking right now. We're lacking
I
players
agree
of
with
the
you.
international. So that's why he goes, Barella, he's going to be sold to Inter. He's going to be sold to Juventus. He's going to sit on the bench. But at least if you call these guys in, now if you call a Quagliarella in just to take for one game the chestnuts out of the fire, you're taking away time from these guys to gain additional experience at the international level, and that's the only experience they might get in the next few years.
Let me just throw a stat in. Quagliarella right now has 7 goals in 6 consecutive matches. First time ever in his career that he did that. And right now in the Capocannoniere race, he's tied on goals with Mauro Icardi with 9 goals.
The
So
fourth,
you're telling
right?
me
Wow.
when players like Belotti and Ciro Immobile aren't scoring and you need someone like
And
that
Insigne
that
too.
needs important goals, and Insigne too, like that for, let's say, against Sweden, you wouldn't call up an informed striker like someone like that?
For one game, no. I
No,
will
not for one game.
I
In
will not.
general, we'll say.
You
No.
have to have a project. You have to stick. You have to stick to the. You have to stick to the project.
I get
You
what
have a
you're
project.
saying.
You have a goal that where you want to be in 2 years, where you want to be in 3 years, where the national team wants to be in the near future and beyond. You have to maintain that script. You have to keep. You have to keep that.
So
that script.
Zuri shouldn't call the most informed players rather the age,
No.
even though he's turning 36.
I
next
agree
month.
with him,
No?
Mike. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
agree
no,
with
yeah.
him.
I disagree
We
with you
gave our
guys.
opinion. I wanted
I
to
disagree
hear
with you guys.
what
That's-
Ludovic liked.
I agree.
Mike, get some fan questions. We'll conclude a little bit. I want to play a little fun game right now, right? We posted this earlier, and Antonio's already nervous right now.
How
He
much
doesn't
is
know what
one
I'm
of
going
them
to say. No, not that. Okay, we're going to give you 4 teams, and you're going to have to say which position you would choose for the teams, okay? I'll give you an example. We're going to say the attack, the midfield, the defense, and the goalkeeper, right? The 4 teams you got to choose from are Juventus, Napoli, Inter, and Milan. So, for example, you'll say, for goalkeeper, I would choose Milan. For defense, I would choose Juventus. For midfield, I would choose Inter. And for attack, I would choose Milan.
You can only
can't-
choose one team once. You can't use more than
Okay.
once each.
Everybody
team.
understand?
Correct. Agree.
Fair
I'll-
enough.
I'll-
Fair
I'll,
enough.
I'll start it off since I already knew. Goalkeeper, Milan. Because
Inter.
there was no way I would ever
Yeah.
put Milan anywhere else.
Should we all say it?
Sorry about that. No. Let's go in order. Let's go in order. Defense, I would choose Inter. Midfield, I would choose Napoli, and in attack, I would choose Juventus. Mike, what about you?
That's tough. Okay. For goalkeeper, I'd go with Milan for sure. Donnarumma, he's good, and the rest of Milan's positions aren't the best. Whatever. Defense, I'll go with. This is a tough one. Defense, I'll go with Juventus. Midfield, I'll go with.
Inter or Napoli?
Midfield, I'll go with. Maybe I messed up. Okay, I'm just gonna go with Inter,
Alright.
and attack, I'll go with Napoli.
Anto.
Defense, Milan.
You gotta start with the
No,
goalie.
Oh, goalkeeper, Milan. Defense, Milan.
can
You can
only
only
pick
choose
one.
the same
Midfield,
team
Milan.
once.
Attack, Milan.
You can only choose the same team once.
All right. So goalkeeping is gonna be AC Milan.
Okay.
Defense, Napoli.
Okay.
Midfield,
Juventus, or
Juventus,
Inter?
and Inter attack.
Attack? Really?
Yeah.
What do
Interesting.
you do with Perisic then?
Peter, what do you say?
I think if you have to choose Milan, goalkeeper, everywhere else.
We're all in agreement on that.
shaky. I would go with Juventus defense, best defense in the league. Also, I would say Napoli midfield, and then Inter,
Inter
defense.
attack?
Yeah, because you know why? With some service,
Oh,
we
I
are
know.
on
Carlos
the same
Carvalho's.
page. We are on the same page.
Yeah,
That's
you're on
what
the same page.
What's
Ludo.
Perisic doing?
Goalkeeper, Inter.
Really?
Defense, Juventus. Midfielder, if everybody would be in shape, I would say Inter. And
Hey,
the
you said
forward,
Inter.
Napoli.
Hey,
Oh,
what
no.
you trying to do?
You said Milan for everyone. What do
You
you
said
say?
Inter
No.
for goalkeeper.
I said Inter for goalkeeper. Defense, it would be
Juventus.
Juventus. Then I would say Milan for the midfielder and Napoli for the forward.
Okay. Very good. Mike, get some fan questions.
Okay, we got a couple over here. Let's go with Milan has been playing the best in the league. They're a little shaky. They got injuries. Gattuso in or out?
And come on.
I-
Come on. You got to keep Gattuso in.
Okay, I say out. Go.
Gattuso in. Gattuso in. If he does not reach fourth place, out for next season. Fourth place is a must to stay on the next season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
for now in, but
Yeah.
if there's no reaction,
You're thinking so short term, I think.
Anto.
He's gonna be in, and I think he's gonna reach the fourth place.
Gattuso's
what's
not
the
the
name?
coach for the future. I think he's gonna get sacked eventually.
but it all
Whatever.
depends on if they have something lined up.
Even though he's
if
been
you have a
doing
coach
good,
lined
that's
No,
up,
true.
you can't
That's
sack him
true.
now. I know a lot of fans want
Can't.
to, but you can't sack him
Okay.
now. What's the next one?
Patrick Schick, he has been getting a lot of time. He got like 10 minutes today, not doing the best. Should Roma loan him out or sell him or keep him? What should they do?
Loan him.
I say loan
In
him.
January?
In January.
In January?
I would say in January
Yeah.
because he's a player that he played with Sampdoria, did really well, but he had physical issues, not in shape, and maybe Roma is not the best stage for him. I will loan him out to a team that he would, with the lower stage, with the middle tier team or lower tier team, and make him play for 90 minutes, and hopefully the next season get him back.
also because it was a huge investment. They spent a lot of money on
38
him.
million.
Most
So,
The
expensive
biggest
transfer.
record signing for Roma ever in their history.
so loan is the only option because you're not getting money.
Fans
got a
gotta
little-
kill everyone.
Yeah, you're
A
not
lot of
gonna get
issues,
money
a
for
lot of
Anto?
Me, I will do an even exchange. I will take Schick and I will give him Wayne to Roma.
Whoa.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah,
You
what do you
serious?
think? Let's conclude it with this. But Higuain, what do you think about Higuain? They're already talking that
I was-
Milan are not going to pay for him.
Listen, I was never happy about Higuain coming to AC Milan, especially when somebody plays for Juventus. You're not going to get the service that you get that those people they had in Juventus. Those people they were they were whipped, really, were bled to
Higuain
death.
is a type of player that he needs to
It's-
feel important. He
Yeah.
needs to be feel part of the
Appreciated,
project,
yeah.
appreciated. Every day he wants to be pampered. He wants somebody to touch his hair, to kiss him on the head. He needs the
Feed him.
mommy hugs. He's a that's the type of player he is on a team. And when he doesn't get that type of attention, mentally he's drained, and you see them on the field. Yes, he is on the field, but his mind is elsewhere.
Yeah,
Pete?
that's why we don't need people like that.
What do you
weakling
think about
mentally.
Higuain?
I think
He gets
right
no
now,
service.
He's frustrated, but he's one of the strikers that he can make his own magic in the sense like he'll create his own goal scoring. He's very good coming back in the midfield and getting the ball and trying to.
But
shoot
now he's
a
not
star.
motivated. He lacks
yeah,
motivation.
I think he's just
The mental approach is not there.
yeah,
emotional,
he's
right?
not fully into this team. I think he really wants to be with the Juventus team, trying to win the Champions League,
Like
trying to
Bonucci,
win the
maybe
Serie
we'll give
A.
him back to
And it's-
Juventus, like Bonucci.
No, but you can tell. I don't think he
Would
he
you do an
really
even
got
exchange Peter Higuain with Icardi?
Are you crazy? No, Higuain's a great. I think Higuain's a
Yeah.
great goal scorer, great
I agree
striker.
with you.
The only thing is it's not even exchange because Icardi is a
Very
lot
young.
years. Yeah, he's
Come on.
Icardi's 25.
But he wants to be a
Higuain is
prima
30.
donna.
They're
Antonio
going
tried to
32.
pull a quick one on you
Yeah.
over there. Anyway, Ludovico, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Anytime.
it was
Thank
very
you for
fun.
having me.
So
I
we'll
think-
have him back, even though it's a
course.
Napoletano. We don't like Napoli. It's all right. We'll take him back.
Hopefully, as Napoli continues the season, challenging with first place and in Europa League, because I'm very interested to see there, we could have him on a lot more.
Ludovico, just a quick prediction. How far do you think Napoli will go in the Europa League? Just a guess, even though we don't know their opponents.
I think we can reach the semifinals. I
Anything
think we-
less than semifinals
I,
is failure?
I think we could reach this. I think the month of December, the remaining games, month of December and January, if Ancelotti can get certain bench players to execute in Serie A and get the 3 points in Serie A like he did today by using most of the bench players
Yeah.
and use the Champions League players, the starting formation against Liverpool, PSG, and use those guys on Thursday and make them sit on Sunday and keep second place, we could win the Europa League.
And just to touch, last thing that I'll say, I think that a lot of people have, made fun of a little bit Napoli for going out of the Champions League, but I think that this is a good opportunity for a lot of the Napoli players who don't have European experience to really compete in a trophy. Yes, it's second tier to the Champions League, but to win, there's Chelsea in there, there's some good teams in the Europa League. I think it's a great opportunity for Napoli as a club to bring home a trophy in the Europa League and to compete just at the higher level. Because once you get to semifinals and
You got
finals,
Inter too now,
But
don't you?
it's-
You got
of course, Inter too.
it's
Inter
so
too.
And Milan too, right?
It's upsetting, but because
bro.
Italy is the only country in Europe, right, where we're not in Champions League, Europa League is not important. The German teams they fight as
The
hard.
Spanish.
The Spanish
Spanish
Atletico
teams.
Madrid is always if they're not in
Sevilla
Champions League, they're in
wins
there.
it.
Real Betis.
That's not a
Manchester
second, you said
United.
it's a second
Manchester
tier.
United.
It is a second
That's
tier.
not a second tier.
It is a
That's
second
all
tier.
right, technically.
I didn't say it doesn't matter, but it is.
Manchester United kicked
Yeah.
out of the Champions League. They
The
won the Europa League.
the
that
UEFA
year.
rankings are mostly based on how far you go in Europa League.
Yeah.
You get more points,
That's
same
what we
amount of
got.
points as
Correct. And the
Champions League
reason
also.
why, correct, and the reason why we lost the fourth place team a few years ago is when, if you guys remember, when we had Palermo, Udinese play in Europa League and they were eliminated right away,
Yeah.
even the preliminary stages.
points were-
That's when we lost a lot of points,
yeah.
and that's why we lost the fourth place, the fourth team in the in
UEFA
the
came to the
Champions.
rescue though.
No,
No, four
I-
automatic.
I feel
spots
good.
to
I
the
hope
Champions
that
League.
this year we'll see Inter, Napoli, and Lazio competing. Anyway, guys, thank you as always for watching. Make sure if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe. Leave a comment what you want to hear from us next. We will have a podcast once the draws are all done tomorrow. They're probably already out of our thoughts. Antonio, what do they got to do?
Well, just rate us with 5 stars. Don't forget that there is no teleprompter over here. Are you reading from a teleprompter? No, I guess
Absolutely
not.
not.
You're not, right?
Oh, I am.
Are you
My
reading?
mind is a
Okay,
teleprompter.
guys, this is the world platform. For
My mind is
soccer.
royal and white.
There
That's
you
my
go.
teleprompter.
This is the soccer platform for everybody on the world that they don't have an opinion that is being heard of Bing or Fox or ESPN. This is nothing but the best. You just keep watching us.
Besides from
because-
Antonio.
Yeah, you keep watching us and you're telling us what you wanted to say. We're going to say it. We represent you and we are here because of you guys. And you guys are there because of us too. So
Well
does that
said.
make any sense?
Merry Christmas,
Wait,
everyone.
Do we have the sale still going on?
No, this has been going on for 3 weeks.
Listen, by the way, guys,
We have a panettone sale going on.
the merchandising is going off the
Buy
shelf.
one, eat one.
Guys, the merchandising is going off the shelf. I just got another 2 shirts myself. I just ordered it.
We charge you triple.
Too much. So place your order
Yep.
if you want to get it for Christmas. When are
When
you going to place
is
the
the last
order?
day?
Everybody already ordered for Christmas.
Yeah,
For Christmas, you're
for
not
the
going to get it
most
for
part.
Christmas. You'll get it by 2019.
Okay, well, just
Maybe
Unless
by
they, want to
20
play,
they want-
unless they want to pay extra for shipping.
What if they get
Well, I
extra
try to
for
pick it up at the
shipping?
studio.
Yeah, next day air.
Ludovico will deliver, right?
Anyway, guys,
With my royal bicycle.
okay.
guys, thank you for watching.
Merry
As
Christmas,
always,
everyone.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao.